I wonder if Mr. I'm not going to be here this week thinks he's going to be here.
Wait a minute.
But he's not going to be here.
Why are we hiding from Respawn?
Well, because Respawn told us he was not going to be here this week.
Oh.
He specifically made a point to tell us.
It's in the show last week. I left it in because I thought people will ask where he is.
Yeah. He specifically said, I will not be here this week. I will not be available. And we have heard zero from him since that time.
Yeah, no communication.
What?
So we took it as gospel. Yeah, but if we record in the Two Titans, he would normally just drop in and create audio crap for me to
like he always does. Like he always does.
So I thought, if we're with you this week, I thought I don't want that editing, and I don't think you want that editing. So it was just like, just peace and quiet, easy. If Gator edits his main show, we put it out on our channel. I'll add the extra bits that Peroty and I have recorded, and we can go from there. So as Peroty said, he's no communication from him, so I've no idea what's going on.
Yeah, Nitedemon, I don't have enough dolphin noises for my show. Sorry, man. Would it be okay if I talk over you guys like Respawn does? Make you guys feel at home today, or do you want me to actually let you guys talk?
We prefer it that way.
Yeah.
Really? You prefer that I talk over you like I am now?
Yeah. If you have some good stories about an airport or maybe some food, actually, if you could be actively eating while we record, that really would make us feel right at home.
Grits and egg.
Well, I'm drinking coffee. I guess we can hear. Hold on, I can do some slurping. Hold on.
Yeah. If you could slurp louder, that would be great. And like talking with your mouth full, a little bit of that too, would really just set the stage.
No, I can't. I can try. Hold on. No, I can't do it.
Otherwise, I'll watch you get your slosh coffee all over his microphone.
No. I just washed my mouse pad. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. You ever wonder what makes a great gamer?
Have you ever played Destiny with a fellow Guardian and wondered, what were they all about? Or, how did they find Destiny?
Questions like these spark conversations, friendship, and community.
We're a Destiny 2 podcast that focuses on three things: promoting a positive gaming community, news around the video game industry and Destiny 2, and thought-provoking topics in the game. We are Guardian Downcast.
Your stories.
Your community.
Your destiny.
What's up, Guardian, and welcome to episode 267 of Guardian Downcast, a Destiny podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. In this episode, I have not one, but all of the co-hosts of the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, and they are the podcast if you want weekly information on what's going on in Destiny 2. It's Peroty, Respawn, and Nitedemon. Well, here's what we'll be talking about today on the show. First, I wanted to catch up with all of them and see what they've been up to this month. It's been a while since I've been on their show, and now they're on mine. We'll also talk about the opening week of Act 3 of the Destiny 2 episode Echoes. We each completed the new exotic mission for the new exotic auto rifle Choir of One and share our experience playing the mission and what we think of the new weapon. Then I wanted to have a real discussion with them about a new topic of the week. I'll go over the highlights of this week in Destiny, and I have a few questions for the show from our community, and Lazz and Uncle Scumdeth both stopped by it this week as well. Should be a good one. So let's roll.
Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. There are several ways you can contact us. First, you can find us on X at Guardian Downcast. Or you can find us on our Instagram at Guardian Downcast and see what pics and reels Todd the Gator and his podcast guests want to share with you guys. We have a brand new website too. Just visit guardiandowncast.com, where you can find all of our contact info, leave us a voicemail, give our show a rating or review, search for any past episodes, or even give back to our community. Also, don't forget to sign up for future updates to the show. where we'll also have random drawings throughout the year, and you may win a gift card or even some GDC merch. And finally, you can send us an email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. Our community thrives on interaction, so get involved and check us out. And later, Guardian.
All right, well, hey, welcome, guys. I can't believe I got the whole Two Titans and a Hunter crew on the show today. This is unheard of to find all three of you available to be on the show, so welcome, everybody.
Oh, hi. There was a dead silence. I didn't know if it was
That's okay.
supposed
I
to
can
take
edit
this.
it. Oh, don't worry. I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to
thanks for having us.
silence. That's your job.
Yeah, you always fill in the silence. We always let you go first. If you're the guest on something, we let you go first and get it out of the way, and then we jump in and say hello.
Wow, I'm feeling attacked right now.
Wait a minute. Are we gonna get a Respawn rant this week?
No.
No. All right, he said no. He said no.
About the exotic quest, absolutely.
So how you guys been? Let's start with you, Respawn. What have you been up to, man? What have you been up to this week?
Oh, man. The last 3 weeks, I've just been traveling for work, and it's been a nightmare. AT&T, you know the company AT&T?
Yeah, they run my phones, my cell phones.
They went on strike for 911.
Oh,
and,
yeah, that's right.
I had a 2-week project where they were supposed to be the techs on site, and they weren't. So what was supposed to be a 4-man job ended up being a me-man job. But I'm assuming you meant Destiny related.
No,
right?
anything you want to talk about, man. I mean, we're just catching up. I mean, the last time I was on your show, I had a co-host. Now I'm running solo, so a lot's changed since I've been on your show last. So yeah, I'm just catching up. I've been listening to your show religiously every week, but I just was curious what you've been doing over since that time. All right, I need a full 1 year catch up, Respawn. Full 1 year.
Okay.
Go.
Work, Destiny, Nitedemon yelling at me, more work, wife threatening my life, having 14 animals in my house currently. And the puppy cam didn't work. I really tried to get the puppy cam working today. The multicast is being blocked on my router, and Spectrum says that, oh, we don't have that option on our router. So I'm like, really? Really? So I guess it's a good thing the puppy cam didn't work because we didn't have a show. But I'm going to try to have it up next week. But there's not going to be any promises because I don't know if I can get it working.
Oh, this is your puppy cam for like when you're streaming? You have like a separate cam for your pup?
Well, puppies. My female just had 11.
What?
Yeah.
Gator, how many puppies do you need?
Oh my
And
God.
is it up to 11?
Did you turn it up to 11?
No, I did not. She did though. Like she really wanted to have a lot of puppies. We didn't expect her to have this many. Last time she had 5. So we increased the size of her cage anyway, right? And we're thinking, okay, well, this should be plenty. And then, here comes 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And her belly was still very big. We're like, wait a minute. And then 6 and 7 came out at the same time. And then all the way up to 11. I'm like, now the funny part, the part that I wanted to show y'all is whenever it's feeding time, it's like a Royal Rumble because there's 11 puppies and 8 boobs.
Oh, no. That's right, there is.
Yeah.
Not that I would know. I never looked at my dog's boobs, but no, I'm sorry.
Well, you can't, dude, they're hanging so low you can't not see them, okay?
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so like you ought to see them fighting over each other. Their eyes just opened like a day or two ago, but it's all like, that old idiom, while all the kids are on the bed and one rolls over and falls off the bed until there's just like one left. It's like that scenario, but with 11 puppies. They just kind of keep rotating clockways, swapping boobs every time the next one jumps on the line.
System.
Yeah, exactly what it looks like. It's kind of funny. And one of them, he's like, I call him Chunker because he's like twice the size of the rest. And he gets a boob and he doesn't move, that is his boob. He's eating it all. The rest of you can share the remaining 7. And he's easily the biggest out of all of them.
Jeez, man, that's nuts. There's always one pig. There's always one that just takes all the food.
And you said you want some, right? You're local. I can drive it to you.
No, I got two. No. I got two dogs, man. Two dogs that are 80 pounds each. I'm good.
We got an order for
No, I'm good. Yeah. Now I do have a dog that's 15 years old. It's a black lab mix and Rottweiler, and she's definitely getting up there. She can't hear anymore, but she loves to bark, like singular bark out the window, like rhythmically, like a rock song, like real slow rock song. But she'll just signature. She'll just sit there and bark like a singular bark. And I'm like, what are you barking at, dog? And I actually tap her because she can't hear me. And she'll look out the window and I'm like, what are you barking at? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, that's what I assume she's saying to me. But man, you've been busy then. Shit. Wow. That's crazy, man.
And they're pit boxer chow husky shepherd.
Oh my God.
And at least 4 of them take after their dad's husky side and are already barking, yapping, and yelling.
That's crazy.
At night.
That's a cool mix, though. I bet you the colors are good on the dogs.
Oh, they're beautiful. They look like, most of them look like Rottweilers, which is what you should be familiar with. But the size of a husky instead of the size of a Rottweiler.
Big square butts on them. Like they're like a block. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it, man. What about you? What about you, Peroty? What have you been doing lately, man?
I've been working.
Yeah, you're always slammed, man. In IT, your IT work you do.
Yeah, I've been sitting in a stew of ChatGPT this week trying to figure out APIs.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those are all words. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we've been acronyms. No, acronyms are words too. Yeah, no, just our team is shrinking, and our workload is growing and growing. So
awesome. Try
to find some time to play Destiny between that and not melting in the summer heat. So I'll take that as a win.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, just work has been busy and life has been busy, and Destiny's there. Like it's the mistress. It's not going anywhere, but it's also, I don't know. I'm definitely feeling the fatigue of 10 years of trying to get hyped up on the next new thing.
I hear you, man. And that's what our topic of the week is going to be later on in the show. But I'm curious what you guys all think about that. Because, I was on your show before I even podcasted, I think, if I remember correctly, or when I just started podcasting and you guys said, hey, you want to be on the show? And I'm like, are you serious? I mean, I listen to you guys like every week, and now you want me on your show? I couldn't believe it, man. I was blown away. I always have you guys to thank for that, because that really got me into podcasting, really got me excited about it, especially Destiny podcasting. But what about you, Nitedemon? Hold on. I'll mute everybody so you can talk. Hold on a sec. All right, go ahead, Nitedemon.
He's a good boy, old Respawn. He lets me talk every now and then. Just working hard and playing Destiny all the time, doing Destiny content and making Destiny content for the peeps. Down with the kids.
Yeah, I've been seeing your YouTube channel now. It's really doing well, man. I love that last one you put up last week. Was like the Windows version of Saint 14. Man, I don't know who did that graphic. That thumbnail was the bomb, man. It was, sorry, that's an 80s term, guys. That graphic was awesome. It looked really good.
I think that I think it was somebody had done it on online. And, I grabbed it and I played around with it in Canva and then.
Great job.
Put it out.
Great job, man.
Yeah.
I turned to my daughter for anything thumbnail wise because I did not go to art school. I paid for my daughter to go through art school, so I figured I better get something out of it. Yeah. And, she does all my thumbnails, but I just had to applaud you, man. That was great work on that one. So.
Thank you.
So, I'm slammed right now. It's peak season for me. And I have to admit it's between my shows I'm watching and Destiny. And, it's been tough to balance all those things right now, especially with work because, usually I have a little bit of slack in the slower months, but it's just peak. I mean, Respawn knows this. I mean, it's hot, it's sticky, it's muggy. It's the worst time for insect activity in Florida right now. And not to mention termites never stop. And it's just been all hands on deck for probably the last 3 months now. And every now and then I get a chance to hold my head above the water and, get to smell the roses a little bit and play some Destiny and watch my shows. But, it's been busy. It's been busy as hell. Well, what I wanted to ask you guys was, this was the first week of Act 3 of, the episode echoes. Yeah. What were your guys' initial impressions of the first week of Act 3? Did you guys all play Act 3 the first week?
I think we've all kind of I think Respawn's played the most. I've seen him like helping people out, asking if people want to go through the exotic mission and things. And I know Peroty and I have got through the exotic mission, but then both been soft locked from completing it. And I did have some thoughts on it because I was saying to Peroty before the show, so I don't understand how Act 3 of like the story throws you straight into an exotic mission. I know they did that last season with the Star-Crossed exotic mission. You just kind of got thrown in there.
Right.
But for some of the people that were like, again, listening to a lot of YouTubers and looking on Reddit and Twitter, and people are upset about how hard it is. Now, I know you're going to say something about that, Respawn, but you know, people have genuine thoughts on this, that it's hard or it's too long or whatever, and they're having issues. And if you're a solo player, I don't think it's fair to be thrown straight into an exotic mission, especially if you're new. I mean, Peroty and I can walk into these missions and get through because we've been here, we've done it, we've seen it, kind of thing. But even that, to be soft locked out of doing the mission is a pain as well. But I think that they should have done a story mission for this week and given people the option of going into an exotic mission if they want to, solo or with a fire team. Because the same thing happened, as I said, last episode or last season with the Starcross. You couldn't progress the story unless you completed the exotic mission. And if people are finding it genuinely hard to actually get through that, then I think Bungie should have kind of come up with a solution to get around that, to continue the story. Because otherwise you're just going to get to the point of going, well, I can't do it. I don't want to do Fire Team Finder. I don't want to look for a group. I like playing this solo. Then that person's going to drop off because they're not going to want to kind of play it anymore. But you know, I enjoyed it yeah.
Well, I was just going to add to that, the Starcross mission you mentioned, last expansion. I never got any of the catalysts because I had to run through these different, every week there was a different, time you had to run through the mission, and it was harder. And I'd played a lot of stuff solo, and I admit I never got any of the, I'm not a big bow guy anyway, but I got the exotic. I got the initial exotic bow, but I never went back to get any of the catalysts for it because it was just a lot of work. And, that sounds kind of moany and complainy, but I just didn't, in Destiny, for me, it's all about the weapon. What's the weapon? What can it do for me? Where am I going to use it? And it's typically, I'm going to use it in Crucible. So that's what I'm always looking at whenever I look at weapons. But what you said, you were soft locked. Explain that. What do you mean by soft locked out of it? Is that because of what's been going on Twitter, where people have been complaining that if they didn't play the first Act 1 and Act 2 missions, they couldn't get the exotic to drop? No. So my Titan's been through the whole kind of story, and I logged on this week, went to do the exotic mission, started, found my way to the bosses and got past the Tormentor and the Subjugator. Right. Then got to the kind of the Hydra boss at the end. Right. Was dunking balls and opening kind of portals to get round. And then we got to the point where like these red force fields came up. I went and dunked the balls, killed the enemy, stood in the circle, generated the kind of thing to get the boss unlocked or get the little diamond near the boss unlocked so I could shoot it so that he could kind of come and attack me again. And the little diamond didn't show up to shoot. And it just doesn't seem to want to work. And listening again on other podcasts and on YouTube, found out that there's a way of kind of soft locking yourself kind of out of doing that encounter, because if he goes to the left, it seems to kind of lock you or lock the people out if you get past a certain damage phase on his health bar. So I think I'd done that. I'd gone too far past this point of like, well, we're not just going to generate that diamond for you to shoot. So he would kind of come out. And then I'd spent like 20 minutes running around that whole arena, kind of taking a ball out of one place, putting it in another place, because I'm thinking, well, am I not doing a sequence correctly? And I was thinking, I don't want to look it up online. I want to kind of do it myself. And then it got to the point of like 20 minutes later, I was like, I'm going to look it up. And then when I looked it up and it said, you've kind of been soft locked, or other people had this issue that it just didn't spawn that diamond in to shoot, I was like, I haven't got time now to kind of
restart, it's going to take me another 10 minutes, and I'm already being shouted at to go out the door. So,
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know people are having problems with that. I didn't have any issues with that. I played it solo, and I'll share my opinion last. But I was curious, Peroty, what did you think of it, man? Get right in that exotic mission right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of had the same experience going, well, let's go, let me jump into it. Let me try it out. Let me see how this goes. And got, muddled my way through. I just basically went into a blind going, well, it's your biggest thing yet. Let me muddle through it. Let me see if I can figure this out. Let me see how far I can get in the 90 minutes I have before work starts. So did that. I did look up one little part of the guide because I'm sitting here going, I've been running in circles for 5 minutes. I know I've missed something. I'm clearly not seeing, the Vex version of event somewhere. And sure enough, I was missing the Vex version of event somewhere. So found where I needed to go to progress myself. Got through the Tormentor room, no problem. Got to the boss, no problem. And then got sort of stuck the way Nitedemon did. Got to the point where I'm going, I can't seem to get the boss to come play with me anymore. And we're just sort of hanging out in the room like, okay, here we are. What now? And did that a couple times, wasn't able to get past the boss. I've seen, and we'll cover a bit in the show, that there's just an issue basically in the second, like there's 3 segments of the boss's health. And it seems like if you basically do 1 damage phase, keep him in the first segment, blow by the second segment again, get to the third segment, you're good. Or in 1 damage phase, like if you're with a fire team, just blow through the first 2 segments and get him to the last one, you're good. But it's sort of, if his health sits in that middle segment, it's got a good chance of soft locking you, and it may have something to do with the left side or the right side of the room where he spawns you. So yeah, got stuck there, and then just haven't had the time to restart the mission. And then go. Like it's not a long mission, it's not that big, but I just didn't have the time or honestly desire to go back through and start it from scratch and do it all over again. To say, let me see if I can maybe not get soft locked this time. So jumped into it, and that's really the extent of what I've played on Destiny this week, and just sort of haven't really felt the desire to go back to it, even though it's a good gun, even though it'll be fun. It's, again, I'm sort of really feeling oh my god, this is the best gun, it's the most amazing gun, until the next week when there's a next new and amazing gun. So I'm still excited to get it, I'm still excited to go use it, but I'm not dying to have it in my hands day one.
Now I'm curious,
and I got frustrated by it.
Nitedemon and Peroty, I'm coming to you, Respawn. Did you guys play right at reset, or did you play later in the day? See, I played that night at reset.
I think mine was Thursday or Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think mine might have been right at reset. I think it was Tuesday morning where I had time to jump on.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if they patched that.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
I wonder if they patched that problem, because I didn't have any of these issues, man.
They have not patched it yet.
No. Okay.
From what I've seen, they haven't patched it yet. They're aware of people having issues, but they have not said anything about patching it. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't running into it, so it does seem to have something to do with like the direction of the room. Like, there's sort of like the back, left, and right, and there does seem to be something with like the left side specifically, it feels like.
Yeah, okay. If
he goes over there's a potential to soft lock. If he doesn't, or if you blow through that middle section. So a lot of people aren't seeing the problem, but the handful of us are seeing it. I think Paul Tassi was one who mentioned, hey, me too.
Really? Okay.
And there's other issues where people aren't, the fact that you could run through that whole mission without having done Act 1 and Act 2 and then just not getting a reward at the end.
Yeah, that I was going to mention
just
that.
Feels,
yeah.
Just feels bad. I mean, that doesn't seem like, how about you not let me start this mission or say, hey, throw up hey, one of the players, one or more players doesn't meet the requirements and flash them like you do on other things where people don't meet requirements.
Yeah.
To run through that and then just not get anything and to have, because it's not like the game's going to tell you, oh, hey, go back and do the other acts. You just run through this and get nothing and then go, is the game broken? Did I do something wrong? Is it both?
What Bungie should have done here is if you didn't run the stories for Act 1 and Act 2, then the mission doesn't come up for you. It just goes back to Act 1 mission or whatever. And then people would, you know how we are, man. We love our content and we devour it. So I guarantee you people did not play Act 1 and Act 2, and I did, for the record. I got everything on the first try. If it wouldn't have popped up for people who didn't run it, that would have been better, because then people would have gone to YouTube and Twitter and Reddit and figured out, why am I not getting this exotic mission? And then they would have gone back. That would have driven engagement way up, where people would go back and actually play those acts knowing, full well that that's what's going to activate the exotic mission. But the fact that it dropped right off the bat for everybody, and then people finally figured out all the puzzles out and stuff, and then got nothing, that's a black eye for Bungie. That someone missed something there, or a decision was made where they offered it to everybody, and that was just, I agree, that was not right. But I heard the tweets. I saw the tweets, and I can empathize with people like that. But hey, man, this is the new episodes. Play the act stories, even if you don't want to. I mean, you're going to get the loot, right? All that cool Vexy loot. Come on, man. I went to you last, Respawn, because Nitedemon and Peroty mentioned you brought a few people through this. So you've got a lot of experience with this mission. What did you think initially?
Initially, I didn't think it was that hard. And I'm not doing this from like an elitist perspective or whatever. I just didn't think it was that hard. And when I got through the first time, I even made a post in the Discord. I'm like, this is the biggest, wow. Like, what metric are they using? Like, cause in no way, shape or form did this feel like a long, a hard, or a big mission. Right?
Right.
I got all the way to the end solo, and then my game crashed.
Oh no. And
then I went back in and I did it with, one of our guys. And we got soft locked first try. And then I was talking to Peroty. You don't have to restart it, dude. All you have to do is wipe.
Just die.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just wipe, and sometimes it'll fix it, sometimes it won't, but you don't have to restart the whole mission. Just wipe and re-roll the chance.
Yeah,
right?
But the problem is if you have to go out, like Peroty and I were saying, that we literally only had 10 minutes and we were kind of walking out the door. We were just hoping that like 5 minutes of that we would have been able to finish it.
Yeah. Well, I did try the boss, I think, like 3 or 4 times, and just never, between a combination of me eating myself into a hole with my crab claws and the game soft locking me, wasn't able to get through. Then I had to go work for a couple hours. And, again, if I could have, set the game down, come back to it, could have finished it out. But the fact that I had to start over because it would have kicked me to orbit, that was my problem.
Let me ask you this real quick, Peroty. Did you have a checkpoint where you could go back to the last encounter, or did you have to run it all again?
Ran it all again.
Okay.
I did go to orbit and then go back into the mission just to see if maybe it would start me somewhere.
Right.
You're not even in the boss room, but just somewhere. Nope. From the very beginning, from that initial room. So that was my first question too, going, well, let me at least disappoint myself now versus thinking I can come back.
Right.
And then being mad later. Go, let me go to orbit, zone back in, see if it offers me a checkpoint. And no, it didn't.
Good call. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead and respond.
After we figured out that, because we were doing too much damage. Like, after I had done it the first time and I got the gun, I brought the gun in the next time with somebody else to test it then. And we did so much damage. Like, that last little chunk where he hard locks his health bar?
Yes.
We got to that in the first phase. And every time we did that, he would jump to the left side and just get locked.
Oh my God.
So we're like, all right, let's not do that much damage. Let's see what happens. And we found out that if we just go down to that first thirds or whatever, he'll go into the next phase. And then that, you can just chunk him down as much as you want to. You just got to get past that second damage phase, because that's where he locks up. If he locks up, right? And now the exotic portion, the catalyst portion, I ran that like 3 times yesterday. And pro tip, look up how to get the catalyst first, because I like doing things blind. So I ran it the first time blind. I ran it on hard mode blind, right?
Right.
And Micah wanted it too, so he jumps in there with me. We get to the end. We didn't get anything. He's like, did you look up the secrets? I'm like, what secrets? He goes, damn it, Respawn!
Secret chest, right? I heard something about secret chest.
Yeah. So there's 3 secret chests you got to grab. The first one does not count towards the mission. So don't freak out if you pick it up and your mission doesn't get that checkbox, right?
Okay.
You have to get past the first one. When you open the second one, it'll update. And when you open the third one, you'll get the catalyst. No, you'll get the catalyst at the end. But you got to open up all 3 chests, and the first one won't count. So don't freak out like I did.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But even a hard mode isn't really that hard. I do recommend all 3 chest mods be void resistance, because that boss, I was at 10 Brazil, I had 3 void resist mods, and still he was like 3-shotting me. And he shoots fast, so you get 3-shot like that,
You're talking about the last boss?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Nothing is hard until you get to the last boss, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying this as an elitist. I legit don't think it's very hard. I guarantee there's already people that have soloed this, 100%. Right?
Oh yeah, no, esoteric.
Yeah, I mean it's not. This is not one of the hardest ones. I'm upset when they said, "Oh, it's the biggest one ever." Like, what? Because the exotic? No, the exotic itself is awesome.
It is,
especially on a Void Hunter. Yes, because I rock a Void build that I've used since like season 2 or whatever. When Void 3.0 first came out, I have a build that gives me all 4 Void verbs in one build. Right.
Right.
And I've always got Devour, I've always got Overshields, I'm always Weakening, I've always got Volatile Rounds at all times. And with this gun doing the damage it does, it's next to none. I mean, it is just so good on a Void Hunter.
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, Respawn, but Bungie tweeted out that they made an oopsie and that it's going to get nerfed soon. That there's a bug in it supposedly where it's doing too much damage. And I admit I picked it up and I was going around just shooting stuff in the worlds or with it. And I was like, I'm never putting this gun down because I love Void already. I'm a Void walker. So I'm like, this gun's never leaving my side. And then I saw that tweet and I'm like, makes sense.
Did they say how they're going to nerf it? Like, cause I know in PvP it's bugged because if you shoot the one round within 7.5 meters, it'll act like 5.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the bug they're talking about, and if they fix that, I'm fine. But if they're nerfing the gun's overall damage, that's going to suck, because it's a special weapon auto weapon.
No, it's doing too much damage with Divinity, as they said, and it's holding too much ammo as well if you hold like reserves. But it's still going to be a powerful. And Gator, I just want to kind of clarify for people that, you were saying about people loading into this week and just going and playing the exotic mission. You can't. If you haven't done any of the story, it doesn't show up for you.
Oh, okay. So they did it right. Okay.
They did do it right. It's people that have kind of got friends that go, I've been playing it, but I haven't kind of completed Act 1 and 2. Just jump in with me and I'll take you through the mission. They're the ones that are actually not receiving it.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying, because I, of course, have played everything in Act 1 and Act 2, and it just popped up for me. But
I just double checked because I thought I'll load into my characters and just check my Warlock and my Hunter, who have done nothing with Act 1 or 2, and it just shows the opening kind of mission.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, because I'm sure everyone would have called me out in the Guardian Downcast feedback channel.
And the other thing is,
even worse, you can do it, bring your friend through it, and they get nothing, and it doesn't. And again, show me hey, someone's missing something before you start
the little red thing, right? They can't join the game because they haven't completed the missions. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Sorry, Micah. That's what happened to him because he didn't get all the way there.
It's almost like if you lay off half your company, you miss things. Just
yeah, no, it's, but the gun itself is great, at least for now. The mission is not difficult, so jump in, get it now, and use it before it gets nerfed. Have your fun. Take it into an activity you've been struggling with.
Apparently, they're not going to touch it until not Act 2, Episode 2, which isn't coming until October 8th.
There you go.
So you've got until October 8th to play with it and have fun.
Absolutely. Okay. That's what I plan on doing with it. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys a question. I know Bungie have said that it's the biggest exotic mission that they've ever created, and everybody is completely underwhelmed by it. I mean, it doesn't feel like a big exotic mission. It looks big in space, as kind of compared to some of the other exotic missions. But for comparing it against Zero Hour, comparing it against the Whisper, it seems to have more, and especially with the timers, and I hate timers, the urgency of getting through those missions, and I'm glad there's no timer on it. But what I'm thinking is that the reason Bungie have stayed quiet on it, is it because it is the biggest mission that they've created, and over the next couple of weeks, where we have to go back in and do the expert versions to get the other catalysts,
right?
Is it going to be bigger because it's going to open up more areas, it's going to have more boss fights, it's going to do something? I mean, this may just be hope being thrown into the wind here. But with them saying it's the biggest mission, there's got to be more to it. That's what I'm thinking, than just kind of what we got this week and the expert version we got this week.
Could be.
Is it going to be kind of, is the third week where you get the catalyst where you actually have to fight Maya Sundaresh at the end? Is it, because everybody's underwhelmed by this giant Hydra. I mean, spoilers for anybody that hasn't done it. At the moment, the first week where you get the gun is just this giant Hydra. So is it going to be more than that? coming like in the next couple of weeks? Is it going to all tie in with the story? That's why they're trying to get people into the exotic mission first. And then you go back through, you play the expert version next week and it's different because it has X, Y, and Z. And then the next week, another thing added to it. And then the final week is where we go up against Maya Sundaresh. I'd like to see the fact that if it kind of, we do that, we kind of knock her back. She goes off into a portal, whatever. And then she comes back as a raid boss kind of a couple of months down the line. I mean, the Bungie have still said that we're going to get raids and dungeons. So possibility of like maybe even the dungeon. She's the dungeon boss for next episode. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no. So
I mean, after seeing what she did to her lover, do we really want to deal with her in a raid?
Exactly.
She basically waterboarded her partner
that
into
was terrible.
compliance.
That was terrible.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with that in a raid.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, see, here's the thing. I played the latest the exotic mission when it first dropped. I played later in the night on Reset. I was looking forward to doing it. And I like to go in blind like you do, Respawn. Go in blind. Not know. I blacked out YouTube. I blacked out any social media because I did not want to know what was going on. And, you know, here's the thing I hate about Destiny exotic missions. It's this, collect these, go over here, turn yourself around and do the hokey pokey type of mission, you know, where they have you doing a bunch of errands to get the final story unlocked where you can finally run it. But I must say, it took me about an hour and a half doing it solo, totally blind. And I truly enjoyed the exploration, the various stages of the mission with loot chests in between. The mechanics and puzzles were just, for me, were fantastic. It made me think a bit, you know, how to traverse the underground areas with the connection and entry cores. I think I had to pick up and move those around to transfer the gates and, you know, get to all the rooms to unlock it. It took me a while to finally figure out that I already unlocked everything. I could progress to the next area, but I still did a few laps because I didn't think I was missing something. But, finally got through that. The last arena and room was fantastic. It took me a few tries to figure out, you know, the system, what I was trying to do. I kind of did it back-assward a little bit because I would build the platform. I would go on the circular area. I never got soft locked, by the way. And I got to knock on wood because now I'm going to get soft locked. And really had a great time doing it. I mean, the boss, as soon as I would, you know, as soon as I would open up the node and the boss would come running at you, I would rush to the back of the map and I would use all that structure back there. And then I would use the new machine gun that I just got, the Spilios or something. I don't know. And just lay it on them. And, the problem I had, because I wasn't doing the system correctly, is he would go to shield really quick. And I had to chunk him down in like 8 phases because I was doing it solo. I didn't have a lot of firepower. But, I tell you what, man, this was exactly what I needed because I'm like you guys. I'm kind of getting a little fatigued from playing this game for 10 years and.
Don't lump me in with them too.
Well, okay. I apologize, Nitedemon. But I mean, I'll admit I've been a little fatigued as well. And I think it took me 15 minutes just to figure out how to get in the damn puzzle. I was like, okay, I see a spear here at the beginning, but how do I get in the spear? I was going around it. There was like an open area at the bottom. I was trying to jam myself into little crevices and stuff. I was like, what is going on here? What am I missing? And then finally I realized you had to swing out and go through the top of it, which was fantastic design. But, it just scratched that itch for me. And I'm not being an elitist either, Respawn. I'm a very mid-tier player, especially in PvE stuff. I mean, you can ask people I raid with. They're usually carrying me along. I just haven't gotten the reps in, but this was very refreshing. The fact that I could figure out these puzzles on my own. I didn't have to go cheat it. You didn't have to go to YouTube and figure out what I was doing wrong. And I just settled myself down and I said, you know what? We're going to just figure this out. And once I figured out how to move the nodes around and open up the portals and to get to the next room, and then I had to get back out. I'm not going to spoil too much here, but, man, it was really refreshing. It was really refreshing. And as far as the biggest, baddest exotic mission, I would say for me, it's one of my favorites because I didn't have to go get certain amount of materials to collect, over here playing this activity. And you know me, man, I don't like the seasonal activity. I don't want to be forced to play seasonal activities if I don't want to. I want to be able to just play anything. And it was just so refreshing. The fact that you
say this, but you did have to go and
I know,
run through the hoops, and you had to complete Act 1 and Act 2 before you could do Act 3.
True. But you know what though? Here's the thing, Nitedemon. It's an episode. And if you just are jumping in just to get the loot, and you're trying to just, scrape the bottom of the mixing bowl and eat all the extra icing and not enjoy making the cake, getting to that point, then I don't think you should have access to it. I think you should have to play through Act 1 and Act 2.
Oh, no, I am actually being attacked. Damn.
I mean, come on, man. This is the standalone, DLC, right? It's a standalone stuff, a post Final Shape. If you want the exotic, play the damn game, man. I'm sorry. I'll admit, Act 1, super boring. And I hated the fact that they made you play the stupid seasonal activity. Like I would go to, what's her name again in the AI?
Failsafe?
Yeah, I would go to Failsafe. I'm like, all right, Failsafe, what are we going to do? We'll go play this mission. Go collect all these resources in this new exotic, or this new, seasonal activity. I'm like, what? No, I want to see some story. I want to run through some story and explore stuff. No, go play the activity. I hated that, man.
Well, I think, to be honest, I mean, with Destiny, it's got to the point where over the last couple of years, we've had the big expansions come out, and always the first, not episode, but the first season with that big expansion, everybody's kind of come to the realization that it's not that amazing, because the full effort has been put into the expansion. I mean, you just have to put shape for that. It's right. And we've got used to this, like, not half baked, but like a kind of very thinned out kind of season or episode as we have now. And everybody's looking to the next episode to be the one that goes, well, this is where we're kind of going. So they really need to hit it out of the park with the next episode and then the following episode.
I agree.
But I think what they're kind of building towards is not actually, like they've said, they're not going to be doing expansions at the moment. They're going to kind of focus on doing these episodes, which can make them bigger than what they actually are, which if they're going to be 3 a year, they could put the resources that they normally put into the big expansions into doing these episodes to make them bigger and better. And as I said to the guys only a couple of weeks ago on our show, it's like they plan everything out each week. Each week there is something to do in Destiny. Whether you like it or you don't like it,
it's on you.
They've got a kind of roadmap. We don't see it that much anymore. But, for example, we had like the first 3 weeks of Act 1. We then had a couple of weeks of Iron Banner. We then had something else the week after. The week after that, it was like the next episode. Then we had 3 weeks. Then we had like Solstice. Now we've kind of gone back to and there's always something to do in Destiny. And then once these kind of acts kind of finish, or the story kind of finishes, that's when you'll see your Iron Banner. That's when you'll see your Solstice. That's what, not Solstice, the Festival of the Lost, and so on and so forth. They do plan things out each week, but it's not like you're not forced to kind of come and do it if you don't want to kind of do it. But there is something there each week for players to play, and some players, like longer term players, are exhausted with it's another Iron Banner. But some players enjoy that. They enjoy coming back and just playing the Iron Banner, or they enjoy playing the bonus weeks for the Vanguards because they know they want to kind of get the extra drops or the adept drops to then kind of go and do their raids and things like that. So there's always something for people to do, which is, I don't think people give Bungie their due for that. And I think when they come up with, I keep getting the acts in the episodes, episode 2 comes in October and they drop it all in that first 3, the first 3 like story beats in that first week. I think that's where they're going to kind of come unstuck, because I think their plan was to kind of make sure that kind of people are playing it each week and doing a little bit each week with little things kind of here and there. And I think it may kind of have the community even more unstuck, because as I said, I listen to a lot of other Destiny podcasts who've all kind of been reduced in their Destiny content. And they're like, The Last Word, for example, they were like saying, well, when episodes 2 kind of drops, it's going to have all the story beats in the first week. So we'll be here for that first week, and then we don't know after that. We may kind of have a break for 5-6 weeks until kind of the next story beat, or unless there's something major in the 12. And if content creators are going to be like that, it's going to be quite hard to keep people's interest in the game. So I'm not sure what Bungie have kind of, they may have a plan. They may have got something planned for what's going to happen after you drop that first initial week going forward. I hope they do, but they may not. It may kind of be the undoing of them bowing to the people of saying, oh, I want everything you said, the acts and episodes are all going to be different from seasons. And it's like, it's not, it's all kind of, each week we kind of just have to log in and do something. Well, you don't have to. You can wait till the end of the season and just play like at the beginning of the season, what they're kind of giving you with episode 2. Like, you can log in at the end, play it all. You could have gone off and done other stuff in between, played kind of Solstice and not actually done any of the episode story stuff. But hey,
yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I had an episode with Kingsley Mack with the Guardian Hub podcast a few weeks ago, and we talked about other games where we were actually looking at playing, because the FOMO's kind of gone with Destiny now because of these episodes. And I kind of like this because we can come back to these episodes anytime throughout the year. You know, it's like you play a season, right? And yes, I agree. Now, here's, you play a season, you know, you got the season pass, you got the seasonal unlock, the seasonal weapons and stuff. And, apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I can come back to any episode I'm curious about this. Do we still have a season pass bar for that episode, or is it gone? Because we haven't gone to episode 2 yet, so we don't really know, but I'm curious. They said it's a standalone,
Yeah, you'll have a new artifact, you'll have a new
for that episode.
Yeah, and new progression on a season pass.
Okay.
But you, like they did with episodes for that year, if you didn't play this episode, the Echoes episode, until kind of say June,
yeah,
you can go back and you can go back and play the stuff that we're playing now, just before they kind of do Frontiers, I guess, because they're going to need to clean out the helm like they did every year.
Sure,
you know, because otherwise the helm would be completely overcrowded if they put too many episodes in there or seasons in there.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that if I go, say, in February, I decide to come back and play Echoes episode 1, that season pass or that progression track will be intact in that episode to get those drops. Okay, so it is like it's like seasons then.
As far as I'm aware, unless they change things and it goes from, because we've gone like from 1 to 200 over this episode Echoes.
Okay.
Unless they carry on and it's a refreshed track, but it carries on like 200 to 300 for the next act, or not act, episode of Revenant, I believe it's called.
Okay.
So Revenant goes from 200 to 300 for Act 1 of that, and then Act 2 would go from 300 to 350, and then Act 3 would be 350 to 400. If they did it like that, so that people then have access to the whole thing,
that's what they need.
That would be quite interesting. Yeah.
You talk about bringing players back. That would be the way to do it. Because if they're resetting the track, Nitedemon, next episode, then it is just like a season. Because in this track, I mean, they have ornaments, seasonal ornaments. They have the seasonal weapons built in. You know, it would be awesome to go back and play Echoes after taking like 6 months off and just going through and get to level 500, you know? Start playing through the story, start playing the activities. That's what they need to do. That's a great idea. And I have a feeling that's not the case. We won't know till next episode, but I was just curious about that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
And talking about like the acts and the episodes, and I've mentioned it to the guys on our shows, that how do you feel, Gator, about like the way that they're doing the Nightfalls with these episodes? Because what they seem to have done at the moment is do like the first 3 Nightfalls that we had for Act 1 were Glassway, Warden, and then Disgrace, and then they repeated those. So they did the Glassway with the GMs coming back, and then they did Warden, and then they did Disgrace. And then we had with Act 2, we had the Saber, Liminality, and Exodus Crash. And now with this Act 3, we've got the next 3, and then we'll get 3 weeks of those, and then the final 3 weeks will be those repeated. But what I noticed with kind of keeping a record of kind of the Nightfalls is that they will change some of the aspects of doing a Nightfall. So, for instance, say you're kind of doing the whatever it is this week, the Psyops Battlegrounds Europa, I believe it is.
Mm.
You'll find that kind of when you go through it and you look at kind of what's it, experts, they've changed it all, haven't they? From
the terminology, they've changed
the terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, if you go through, I think it's advanced.
Mm-hmm.
We've got expert, master, and then grandmaster.
Right.
So, for instance, for week 1, you had like Fire Pit and Empath as a modifier,
mm-hmm.
and you had the Arc and Solar Surges. When it came back around, like 2 or 3 weeks later, they would change some of the surges. So they would go with the surges for that week, because some weeks were like with Nightfalls and the strikes and the overthrow and whatever else is kind of in the rotation, the surges will change. So for week 1, or you'd get Arc Surge and Solar Surge, and then for the next time it came around, you'd get Arc and Void. And then with the Fire Pit and the Empath, that would be, say, for kind of your advanced difficulty at the beginning, kind of when you can get a fire team from just kind of matchmaking. And then when it comes back around, they'll change that and put that in kind of for the master, the Grandmaster version. So Fire Pit would be as a Grandmaster modifier the next time it came around. Are you liking them mixing it up rather than kind of being predictable than what they were before? Because it was just kind of set in stone before. You had those 6 Nightfalls and now we're up to 9 because of the longer seasons. And because they're repeated, you get different variations on them. I think that's interesting because it's something they haven't done before, and they haven't communicated that they're kind of, this is the way that they're kind of doing it to kind of keep the game refreshed, because you can't just walk in the same week doing the same stuff that you did that first week kind of thing.
Well, first, what are Nightfalls again? Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I agree. I think that's good to mix it up. I think it is. And if you remember, Nitedemon, I don't know if you run, Master and Heroic, Lost Sectors. I love doing that to get the new, exotic stuff from my other class, my other classes that I play.
Yeah.
They rotate those as well, every season. I think every season they did that.
Oh yeah. No, every season they rotate those. And so sometimes they keep them in, and sometimes, the burns and the things are different slightly.
Yeah. Cause I like that. And, there's a whole website that shows you the rotation and everything. If you're wanting to plan it out coming up ahead, what you're trying to go for, like I need.
Yeah. The website's called 2 Titans and a Hunter, by the way.
It's like, I don't have the new exotic, what's the word? Pants, not Greaves, for the Hunter, the new exotic for the Hunter. That's the bottom pants. Oh, geez. Why am I having a hard time with words today?
As opposed to the top pants?
Yeah. No, not the top pants, the bottom pants. I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going there. No, I
got it.
But you know what I'm saying? I need to get those exotics. So the only way I know how to do that is.
You're talking about the balance of powers.
Yes. When I need to know when's leg day for the Master Lost Sectors, because I love doing those.
They don't do that anymore, guys.
They don't do that anymore, dude.
What?
You got to buy it from Rahul, brother.
Yes.
Well, what if it hasn't dropped for you yet?
You got to buy it from Rahul, brother.
Rahul.
No. Wait a minute.
Rank up Rahul, and then you'll be able to. Because that's what I.
Yeah.
When I went through the initial mission.
Yeah.
Campaign.
The initial story. Yeah, campaign. Thank you.
Right.
I made a silly decision and didn't choose the rocket pack for the Titans, because I'm thinking this sounds good, but is it going to be good? Turns out, yes, it is. So you basically just have to go give Rahul all the pretty shiny things and have him open them up for you, and then do that.
Anything powerful, you gotta decrypt powerful gear, not just gear.
Sure,
you have to decrypt powerful gear with Rahul until you get to his 3rd page of stuff. Right?
Yeah, I've already unlocked all that.
When you get to his 3rd page of stuff, you go there and you can just flat out buy the new exotics.
Please tell me that's character wide. I mean, that's account wide, not character wide.
Don't know.
Rahul is account wide.
Okay, thank you. So I can go do that right now. Okay, thank you.
So you could not have completed the campaign at all on your other characters. Go to Rahul, and I believe it's like 2 exotic engrams and a cipher,
Yeah.
You can say, give me that new exotic for this season.
I love it.
Which, well, yeah.
I mean, because I'm
more of a fan of the RNG kind of dropping of stuff. I would rather go back to
the RNG is re-rolling it. That's your RNG.
Right.
No, I would rather go back to the Destiny 1 era of exotics being exotic to get, not, you've given me 2 exotic engrams, I'm just going to go and throw them at the Rahul, and he's just going to give me that exotic. I don't personally like that. I enjoyed the chase of not getting the Galahorn for the first year and a half. It was something to chase. It was something to do in the game. It gave me something to strive to get. Like people have when they go, I'm going to complete like 200 of this kind of Deep Zone Crypt to get the Eyes of Tomorrow, and I haven't got it on my 200th drop. Oh, we're going to give you protection on that. It's like,
well, that makes sense.
That was the whole idea of you go and play the game and you get a chance at this to drop.
Come on, Nitedemon.
I missed that.
200 runs, really? How about 30 and you start getting protection?
No, I'm just throwing it out there, 200. But, it gives people an incentive.
He says that because he has good RNG. He's never been a victim of bad RNG like me. You know, when I got the Galahorn in D1, a week before Zer sold it and got nerfed. That's when I got mine.
Yeah.
But you got it, what, 3 years?
You remember that.
You do.
But it was awful. I was not allowed to do so many raids and so many activities because I wasn't lucky enough to have that damn rocket launcher on me. You know? That's not fun.
You didn't have the Crota rocket launcher.
Galahorn or quit, or Galahorn or kick.
Yeah, I didn't have either one of those, man.
I went through it too, man. I
don't understand. RNG. My exotic RNG without assistance is bad. Yeah. Nitedemon was all like, oh, well, Respawn has all the exotics. Do you have any idea how many times I run these activities to get those exotics?
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole idea. They're exotic. They should be exotic to get. That's the chase of the game.
Now,
the problem is giving people too much of here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh, look, Zer's going to give you all of this stuff this week. You can just go. It's good for new players, and he did do that in Destiny 1. He gave you the option of a varied few that you could kind of get, but the rest of them you got as an exotic drop from just playing the game.
Now, Nitedemon, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I've got to side with my Florida brother here because my RNG is shit.
To me.
It is terrible.
Your RNG.
No. But here, when I play Destiny, when I play a looter shooter, I'm of the mindset, tell me what I need to do. Tell me how many times I need to do it. And I will just go put the time in and grind it and get it done. Just tell me, give me the path. Give me the path to get it. Don't hand it to me. Don't let me just go to the Cryptarch and buy it. I mean, I'll do it because it's there, but I would rather have to go run 10 master lost sectors and struggle a little bit to get it. Then I earned it. It dropped for me.
I'll tell you what, Gator. I'll tell you how to go and get things. Go and play the game, and if you do a legend lost sector, you get a chance. You do a master, you get a higher chance. You get an even higher chance if you do a grandmaster nightfall. You get even more of a higher chance if you go and do a raid and a dungeon, and you get like a 50-50 chance if you do a Grandmaster raid version.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because you just gave me a path. You just gave me a path. So I have no problem with that. No problem.
Because that's the way it worked in Destiny 1. People knew if they did their nightfalls, and we did it religiously. We logged on at reset. We went and did our nightfalls. We got our flaming crowns. And if you didn't get the exotic on your first character, you jumped over to your next character, you did it again, you went through the weekly routine of doing all the stuff you could, you then move on to your raids, you'd go through your raids, you get them done. If you still didn't get it, you could go and play Crucible and have a small chance at it to drop. But that was the interest. And even randomly playing, I remember kind of playing on Mars and just shooting Cabal at one point, doing kind of patrols and things, and an exotic dropped. And I'm like, that's amazing. And I think it was like the fusion rifle.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of it now.
It's the triple shot one.
Yeah.
It would just
appear. And that's where it dropped
mission would just appear on Venus. I remember that. Gotcha. Blue flaming head. Oh my God. That didn't sound right. Hold on. When your head had a blue flame coming out, that didn't sound good either. When your helmet had a blue flame emitting from it that day you completed that Nightfall solo, that brings back some good memories, man. And people look at you like, oh my God, this guy ran the Nightfall this week. This guy's badass. Yeah. You'd strut around the tower. Now it's like, here, everybody can have everything. Candy for everybody. Give me the path. And if that's the path, let me know that's the path and I'll go do it, man. But this, hey, run, Deepstone Crypt, 30 times and watch your host, get it 5 times before you get it 1 time.
But Gator, that's always what happened. That's always what happened.
But that's demoralizing though.
But when we were playing Vault of Glass and we were playing, Crota, we were playing Kingsfall, it was just a chance at that to drop.
Right.
Yeah, but when you've missed that chance so many times, it becomes demoralizing. You don't want to do it anymore because you know you're not going to get it. You know,
you do. You want to do it again and again.
How about this?
No,
how about this?
You want to do it every now and again because you're a masochist.
How about this? How about the more times you run the raid, you get a little bit better chance of getting it to drop. That makes sense.
No, he doesn't like that. He wants it pure RNG.
Who's the elitist here today? I thought it was Respawn.
Exactly.
I'm starting to change
my mind.
Exactly.
I'm not an elitist. I just want
You're just a
people. He's just lucky
to play the game.
Well, it only took me 5 tries to get it. It's not that hard.
I know there's been a couple raids where someone Sherped me and I got the exotic on the first try, so I can't complain. But it hasn't been nice to me since. So just give me a path. That's all I want. Just give me a path to get it done, and I'm happy. But
see, the path to exotics was always be the lowest man on the Iron Banner team.
Exactly.
So everybody could see you doing the worst and getting the exotic, while everyone who's out slaying out getting absolutely nothing for their efforts. That was the best way to exotics in Destiny 1.
And put it at the end of the game
in PvP, and it would take pity on you.
Yeah, put it at the end of the game on the scoreboard so everyone can cuss you out as you left the game to play another match.
Yeah, precisely. That was the best way to get things. Do poorly at PvP.
Thank God they've come a long way there. But, yeah.
No, come on, bring that back.
Hey y'all, this is Sin from the Guardian Hub podcast, the best hub on the net, and you're listening to the Guardian Downcast, the best cast on the net.
Yeah, I'll Venmo you that later. All right, this week in Destiny for August 29th, 2024, and these are just the highlights, by the way, but they did talk about these things this week in Destiny. First thing they show here is the actual trailer for Act 3 of Destiny 2 Echoes. It's on Bungie.net if you want to look at that and see what's going on. They're saying that Encore, the new exotic mission, is probably our most ambitious mission to date, and we are not here to spoil any of it, only to ask that you go play it and discover it for yourselves, all the secrets within it, and the reward for completing it is a new exotic weapon called Choir of One. It's very special, not only because it literally shoots special ammo, the first ever auto rifle to do so, but because it also fires void darts like a wyvern. And like I mentioned earlier, I have gotten this. I did complete the mission. We all talked about our experiences with that already, so I won't stick too much to that. The Choir of One is also a craftable weapon, so over the course of the following weeks, as you dig deeper and deeper into Nessus Core, while playing Encore, you'll unlock more perks and more catalyst to make it your ultimate Vex killing machine. I have not run the catalyst mission yet this week, so I'll let you know next week how that went. Something pretty cool here they mentioned, it's sorting time. Swords are cool. They make you feel like a knight, put you in third person for more precise jumping during puzzles. Yes, I can attest this is the way I jump. It can be used for some crazy, almost illegal feats. Talking to the speedrunners there. And they do great damage to bosses. So why not honor them with a week-long event? Well, that's what we are about to do. Starting September 3rd, which is reset, all swords in the heavy ammo slot will regenerate ammo for a whole week. That is until reset time on September 10th. We want to have some extra fun while wielding a blade, but not so much that it trivializes raids or competitive game modes. So, your swords will have effectively infinite heavy ammo in the seasonal content, strikes, nightfalls, gambit, and the relic game mode in the Crucible. And Legend and Master Lost Sectors. I might actually try this in those. 4 seasonal challenges during this time will be focused on getting kills with swords and some of those activities. So it's the perfect combo if you need some extra XP to reach that level 200 on your season pass. I'm almost there. And as you're doing some crazy plays with swords, why don't you record yourself doing so and share it with us? We want the whole community to embrace this special sword week. Oh, I'm sure the videos will be crazy. When we say crazy, we mean things like defeating flying bosses with caster frame swords, going full stealth on a certain moth-infested cyst with Heart Shadow, completing a Grandmaster Nightfall only with using Lament, hunting guardians down and Gambit with an eager edge sword. Just think outside the box for this one, because we've seen enough well-skating skips for a lifetime. To participate, just use the hashtag SwordLogic on your social platform of choice. We'll pick our favorites once the event is over and announce the winners on September 12th this week in Destiny. The prize is double: the photo ionization and the movie of the week emblems. And of course, they're very nice. Always really cool emblems. Don't think I'll ever see those, to be honest. Let's do something for good. Bungie Bounty is back. Tell a friend we've got a brand new emblem to accompany the return to the Crucible. Feast your eyes on Bounty of Good, which will be earnable during the monthly streams for teams that match up against and beat Bungie Foundation teams, or for those Guardians who help lead, aka carry us, to a win. Your first shot to earn this new emblem is today, August 29th. Obviously, we're listening to it after that. We'll be live starting at 10 a.m. and we'll be teaming up with our friends Antha and Snevo. This month's Bungie Bounty will benefit our amazing partner organization, Stack Up. Let me tell you, I have done some fundraising streams with my buddy Sweaty Spooks, who is a Stack Up streaming member, and this is a fantastic organization. It's a group dedicated to supporting veterans and active duty military personnel through the power of gaming. They're like giving people consoles, and it's a really great organization. I'm so glad Bungie is getting involved with them. So they're saying tune in, get involved. Let's make a positive impact together. We'll see you in the Crucible. Some news from our social media. It's summer, so we are not calling the roll on who's checking all the updates shared on our social media channels, but we don't want you to miss out on some cool stuff we have shared this past week. So here's a recap. Private matches rewards. I just heard this in the community. I can't believe they're doing this. The first thing is a reminder that you can now earn rewards on private matches in the Crucible. And we quote ourselves, we added Crucible rewards to private matches to give you a slightly more casual environment to earn legendary engrams, armor, and even post-game catalyst rewards. Invite some friends, adjust some settings, and earn some new rewards. This is really cool. Never knew this was going on until some people in my community mentioned it to me. Additionally, this isn't meant to be a solution to balancing issues or various feedback items. It's an additive for players who want to hop in private matches for some team scrims, players who'd like to practice in private games and improve their skill before hopping into the Crucible, or those who just want to mess around in the custom rule sets. Next, Pathfinders for Rituals. This is such good news. As we posted earlier this week, we are introducing a Pathfinder rewards path for each ritual activity. And if you look at the diagram here, it's just a toggleable. You can just toggle between the maps. You have Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible, and you just toggle between them, whatever you're wanting to play, and it'll show you the new path where you can just play Crucible and get the reward. Thank you, Bungie. This is a very good change. They encourage you to let us hear what you think of this new implementation. It doesn't go live, though, until October 8th when episode Revenant launches. So that's episode 2. That's all right. I'll take it. The fact that they've made the changes and for the better is fine. I'll just do what I can for right now. Destiny player support. Yeah, shit's still broken. They did mention they did fix the cryoclasm aspect for Titans, which was not working as intended. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, the list has definitely gotten a lot smaller. So we got some really cool artwork here. Man, that's beautiful. We have our movie of the week, and that's it. Keep them in line, Guardians. Thank you, Destiny 2 community team. You know, it's awesome that you guys communicate with us every week. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, Bungie, for still continuing to talk to us. I know there's been a lot of drama lately with Chris Barrett, a lot of things going on. I'm sure it's a whirlwind right now at Bungie, but thank you for still continuing to communicate with us every week. It really is one of the things I love about this game. All right, let's get on to our topic of the week, coming up next. Hey everyone, as I take my mandatory bathroom break, I'd like to thank our Patreon community for giving back and continue to help out a listener-supported podcast like this one. If you've received any value for today's episode and want to give back, check out guardiandowncast.com and select the Patreon button to learn more about it. Now let's return to the conversation. And yes, I did wash my hands. Later, Guardian. All right, for our topic of the week, with the colossal failure of Concord, and as a longtime Destiny player, I'm curious what factors you consider when trying a new game. And maybe in addition to that, what does Destiny need to do to keep you playing post Final Shape? Are you guys burnt out on the live service games and gaming in general? That is our topic of the week. I'm just curious what you guys have to say about this. I'm going to start with you, Peroty. What do you think about what I just asked there?
Oh, I don't know what a Concord is. I think it's a city in the Northeast, so that's the extent of what I know about that.
I thought it was a grape jelly, like Concord grape jelly.
I thought it was an airplane.
Oh, there you go.
It could be all of those things.
Good pull.
All of which are more successful than whatever the game was, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much every game I've ever been into, up to and including this one, was because someone was like, "Hey, we're playing this. Go get this." I am very motivated by cooperative games, by team games, by saying, "Hey, we're going to go buy this game." I have a shelf full of games where we're going, where friends have said, "Hey, we're all going to play this. You should buy this," and I buy it, a week or 2 or 3 after they do, and then by the time I play it, they've all stopped. I get it and get up to speed. They've all stopped playing it, given it up. Destiny being the exception to that rule. So I think, games I end up playing, it's usually someone else is playing it, so I have someone to play with, preferably cooperatively, or if not, at least someone to go show me the ropes and hang around with, and just go play with other people. Most of the new stuff, and Destiny is my it is my gaming mistress. Destiny is the game where I'm going to spend the bulk of my time. So anything that's like, I've got 17 hours and 19 quests and a treadmill to run on, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in another deep and commit yourself to this and keep going on the weekly track or the daily track and what's going on with it. So the other things I tend to play are more like crafting survival games or things that don't really require that much of me, where I can say, I just want to go chop some wood or just go mine some rock or work on this little house I'm building. And I don't want to be, I'm not trying to make a bar go up or hit milestones all the time. I want to go hang out. Destiny is my, I'm deeply ingrained in this game and this culture and know what's going on with it. And other things, I just don't want that level of commitment. I want to hop in and hop out and be very casual about it.
Now,
so that's sort of what I'm looking for.
Is that how you got into Destiny? Is because friends of yours were playing it, or was it something you just fell into? Like a lot of people just discover it by accident, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is awesome." How did you actually find Destiny? I could probably go back in the episode you're on and realize that, but I'm just curious since you mentioned it that way.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was Panoramics 18 was like, "Hey, I got Destiny at a Redbox this weekend. This seems cool. It's from the guys who made Halo. You should check it out." So I think either through GameFly or either GameFly, Redbox, something. A week or 2 after it came out, I'm going, let me pick this up. Let me see what this is and how this is, because I knew it was from the makers of Halo, Bungie's new thing, but I didn't really know that much about it because I don't really follow gaming news. And yeah, fell into it that way. Met all you lovely humans, and here we are a decade later.
I got a question for you, Peroty. Does GameFly still exist?
I have absolutely no idea.
I was just curious. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
And at this point, Redbox barely exists.
That's true. That's true. Good, fair point.
They do have a website. So GameFly does exist as gamefly.com. Okay. So they seem to still exist.
I stand corrected.
And GameFly, if everyone's going, what is that? It was basically, Netflix for games. You could say, hey, send me a game. You play the game until you got tired of it, send it back. Rental video games.
I thought it went away when Blockbuster went away. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I have not thought about them in years.
Wow. So, okay, if I'm hearing you correctly, then it's more about community. It's more about, being involved with your friends and doing something on a Saturday night, right? That's kind of your take on it?
100%.
Okay. What about, I'll mix it up here. What about you, Respawn? Concord was such a bad failure, and I don't know if it's lack of focus on what people want to play, because I actually heard from a lot of people that said it was actually a decent shooter. It was actually put together well. but what is it that you look for? I mean, I only play Destiny, but I'm looking into other games, and I'm just curious, when you're looking for the next Destiny game out there, what do you have to have in place? What are you looking for when you're thinking about diving into another big franchise?
I guess you could say I'm the epitome of what a Guardian is, and I'm just a loot goblin, right? Mm-hmm. I like a game where I can get a bunch of loot. For example, like, if you look at my Steam library, my favorites are going to be like all the BioShock games, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to have all of the Monster Hunter games, and then I'm going to have all of the Borderlands games, right? Call of Duty games, things like that. Destiny, right? I like loot. I like different kinds of loot. And I like loot that makes me feel powerful. And in the case of games like Borderlands and Destiny, just weapons that do just like, kinds of things, right? Like in Borderlands, there's a gun that will yell at you and insult you when you shoot it, right?
Right.
So I like loot. I did like different kinds of loot. Having people to play with is a bonus. Until I play Destiny, I've never really played, well, that's not true. I used to play Call of Duty professionally, but that was more of a job than it was anything else. And, loot. I like loot. I like guns. I like feeling powerful is what I enjoy. I don't like games that repeat things. Like we were talking last week about the game that they were going to say was going to be the Destiny replacement. Not killer, but the Destiny replacement, which was,
First Descendant.
That one. Yeah. And it's good. You definitely get some cool guns, which are about to get improved again. But the problem is how you get things and how your character evolves, right? In Destiny, you get abilities. In that game, you kind of get abilities, but you only have so much space. And then you have to grind an item, which will make your, quote, abilities cost less to equip.
Right.
And then you have to keep doing that over and over and over again. And then when you use one, it resets your character skill level. So then you got to level the character back up again. And the same thing with the weapons. You know, that is not fun. The repetitive shenanigans is not what I find enjoying. And you're going to say, well, Destiny is just the same thing every other week. That's true. But things like Nightfalls, they change how you have to do them. They change the nightfall that's there. And then you have raids on top of that. And then the raid that you do depends very heavily on the team that you have. Things like that. So Destiny takes a repetitive experience and kind of changes it up a little bit. That way it's not the exact same mirror image every time, you know? But yeah, that's what I like is loot, getting strong and shooting things.
Well, hold on. I there's something you said at the beginning of your answer. You play professionally Call of Duty?
I play Ed once upon a time.
Did you play on a team? On a clan?
Yeah, we were sponsored and everything for a while.
Dude, I never knew that about you. No wonder you kicked my ass in Crucible. Damn it. I even threw Hazel at you and you still kicked his ass.
Well, Hazel had it worse than you. You learned from his mistakes and you did much better, but
well, you went invisible for 30 seconds. Let's make sure we're on the right track here.
I mean, hey, if you got it, use it. You had rifts.
I know.
You were floating, right?
I know.
So
I'm not jaded at all, man. Can't you tell? I'm not holding a grudge at all. Anyway, let's move on. Nitedemon, what about you, man? What do you look for when you're looking for the next Destiny game? Because for me, I'm always out there looking for something that's gonna compare to Destiny. But I'll be honest, Elden Ring was probably the closest thing, but there's really been nothing out there that offers everything that Destiny does. And I know you're a diehard Destiny player like I am. That's why I went to you last. What do you think about that, man? What are you looking for? And are you burnt out? Are you tired of live service? What do you think?
Well, I mean, looking at Concord, I mean, I haven't really kind of followed anything apart from what I've heard on podcasts this week, is that, you know, it's a team-based first-person shooter that's only on PS5 and PC. I mean, that's half the problem, is that you're kind of cutting off people to play your game. It's not going to be a good thing for it. So, and from what I've heard, it is a good game. So it's like, from the bones of it, apparently it's a really good. So it isn't something that would interest me to play. And I think the thing is that you're looking at kind of replacing Destiny when you shouldn't be looking to replace Destiny. Destiny, if you enjoy playing Destiny, should be Destiny. That should be your game. You should want to kind of play that. Don't look for a Destiny replacement. Look for other games that you could play on the side that you could also enjoy, that would kind of keep you kind of like Peroty does, like I can't remember is it the Stardew Valley? Does a bit of Stardew Valley. Some people play Minecraft. Some people go and play Fortnite. It's just something that if you're not feeling it in Destiny at that point in time, go and play something else. And I joked about it at the end of the show last week with the guys that I was seriously looking at playing Star Wars Outlaws this week. And I looked into it that Ubisoft did their kind of premium. If you paid, I think it was like $15.99 for a month of their premium, you had access that had the 3-day early access, and you didn't actually have to pay. Didn't have to actually kind of pay for the game, but you got all of what like the premium edition would be. You could also play it on PC, and you could also play it on your Xbox, depending on where you kind of wanted to play. It did say it was cross-save as well at some point, but at the moment I don't think they've got that working. But I have been playing that, and it's not Destiny, but because it's Star Wars, I enjoy Star Wars. It's very similar to kind of Assassin's Creed with kind of the sneaking around. And I haven't kept up with the Assassin's Creed. I've played like, I think 1, 2, 3, and then, I can't remember. I think the fourth one, the Black Flag, was the fourth one, which came out on the Xbox One. I stopped at that, and my kids play like, the one in Egypt and the Greek one and that. So I'm not burnt out on Assassin's games. So I'm actually enjoying doing the sneaking around. It's in a Star Wars universe. I love doing the kind of the bounties. It's a bit like Red Dead Redemption as well. You can just stay in one area and do billions of bounties and amass a wealth before you can kind of even go off to another planet and do things like that. I think I've played I'd say about 10 hours this week. Played the early access, played a bit on the Xbox, enjoyed that, and then jumped onto the PC version so that I could free up the TV for everybody else to play. And found out that I had to start again because the cross save wasn't active. So I started again and played on that. But it's not Destiny, but it was just something else that I could enjoy playing. And I enjoy playing Gears of War with the family. We have kind of horde nights where we kind of just go through waves of the enemies and build up our bases and do that. We don't really play the multiplayer we played the campaign, completed the campaign, but we don't kind of play against each other. I used to when I was younger, and that's another thing. I think as you get older, the games that you like or the games that you kind of play do change as well. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's like when I was younger, it was all about your gamer score on the Xbox. It was all about beating your friends with your gamer score.
I remember that.
What game could you rent out that I think there was a Naruto game that one of my friends got hired out, and you could kind of stand on one corner of the map and do a backflip or something, and it would give you the 1,000 gamer score points, and that's all you had to do. You didn't have to even play the game, but it was all about the gamer score points, and it was the showing off of the gamer points. And as I've got older, it's more about kind of getting into the game and enjoying the game and just sticking with that one game, and that's what it's kind of been with Destiny. And I do love playing Destiny, and it's just that, I like Star Wars, and this game kind of piqued my interest of playing. I'm also interested in maybe playing the Indiana Jones again, Star Wars, Indiana Jones films kind of thing. It's my kind of thing. But saying that, I will play Fortnite, the PvE version of Fortnite. I have played the PvP with my son, had a couple of quick games, and we've had a good laugh. But it's all about where you are in your life and where you kind of what you want to kind of do. So if you enjoy playing what you enjoy playing, nobody should stop you from doing that. So
sure, yeah,
it's all kind of changed for me, but I'm still Destiny 2 100%. Just I will play it every week religiously. I will go and do stuff. The Star Wars game is there to play, and it can be one of those games that I can sit down and I don't have to put any thought into. I can just go off and do a mission. I can pause it whenever I like, which is nice, so that if I'm called to do something in the house, I'm not arguing with the fact that, I've got to get through this mission or get to this save point before I can then kind of come and do something. It's like, and that's, one of those things of a different game does different things.
Yeah. I I really thought about this week because this has kind of been in my mind. I mean, seeing how bad Concord flopped. I mean, from what I heard, they had like 600 concurrent players, and I heard I think I heard on Twitter. I keep saying I hear. It's like I can hear a tweet. No, I saw on Twitter that it's not even a sustainable online game anymore because the player base is so low. I cannot imagine how much of a miss that was. And everyone says, well, it's because it was $40. Everybody wants free to play now. But what they forget to tell you, like the First Descendant, it's $40 or $50 for one skin and a few goodies with it. You just bought the game. I mean, how is that free to play? If you want the bunny with the big boobs and the big butt and you want to run around in a bikini shooting people, it's $50, man. And not to mention they time gate when you craft stuff. I mean, it's the ultimate grind. And I've just immediately said, this is not free to play. I mean, yes, it is free to play. I can grind out everything and look like a normal default character, but I guarantee you 50% of the players out there aren't going to do it. And this is what has kept Fortnite going for so long. They don't make their money from people buying the game, and it is free to play.
Well, they did. Initially, they did.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was just an EVE game.
Yeah, it was.
I bought into it. I got the premium pack.
It was a zombie game.
Founders pack. Pack, I think it was.
I remember that.
And it was over $100, and you got access to all the zombie game, and that's what I really enjoyed. And then when they branched out into the battle pass and the PvP side of it, that's when the game took off. But that part was free, and it's always free. Right. And that's what I say about Destiny, is that Destiny's a free to play game.
There's a lot you can play
aspects
for free.
And a lot of the Crucible. And the Crucible is where they should keep it fresh to keep players into it. That's what Fortnite does. Yep. They still have the zombie part. You can still go and play the seasonal events for the zombies. They do one for Christmas. They do one for Easter. They do one for Halloween. You name it. They still do it in the PvE side of it. But where they kind of branched off and they, make money from the skins and things, but they changed the maps. They changed how you play, various different things in the PvP side of the game. And that's what keeps it fresh and then people then go, oh, what's this thing you've got over here? I could pay and play the PvE side of it if I really to as well.
Right.
And that's what they should do in Destiny, is focus more on the PvP.
Yes. Because
that does bring a lot of players into the game.
Well,
who will then play the PvE side of it.
Let's look. I'm on Twitch right now and I'm looking at all the top games that are streaming right now. Apex Legends, League of Legends, Valorant, Grand Theft Auto 5, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty Black Ops. It's the beta's out right now. Counter-Strike, Escape from Tarkov, Dota 2, Fortnite, Teamfight Tactics. This is League of Legends. These games have been out forever, man. But you know what the common thing? You know what the common thing? You just nailed it. It's all multiplayer. It's all PvP. I'm coming up with a video series right now on my YouTube channel to try to get some of my PvE and my older gamers out there to try Crucible. I'm giving some tips and tricks on how I approached it and stuff. But if you look at this is what keeps the games alive, is the PvP aspect. And the fact that Bungie focuses on PvE first and then all the scraps go to the PvP side of things just boggles my mind. You nailed it. You nailed it, Nitedemon, because if they can bring in people to play PvP and then someone says, oh my God, where did you get that gun? Oh yeah, I got that in a raid I did, last month. Then what do you think they're going to do? It's a looter shooter. They're going to go figure out how do I get in this raid? And I need to get 5 friends together, or I can go to Fireteam Finder. That's the way they need to pull in players to Destiny, is through the Crucible. But the problem is most people who play Destiny, I get that same old reaction. Oh yeah, I don't do Crucible. That's not me. That's not my thing. And I'm like, dude, why not? Every game is different. It is such a new experience every time you jump in. And if you look at Apex, League of Legends, Valorant, Grand Theft Auto, this is an online world. You can shoot people and stuff. World of Warcraft, online. Counter-Strike 2, Escape from Tarkov, Dota 2, Fortnite. These are all PvP shooter games. And these are the top stream games in Twitch as of right now. So
I think the thing is with Bungie, though, when they see their raid races and their raid runs.
Yep.
And they go to the top of the Twitch directory and they go, oh, this is what we want all the time.
Yes.
I think they had it so perfect, or not so. I think it was perfect towards the end of Destiny 1, where they had that good balance of giving us the PvE content, yet they were still delivering on the PvP side.
Every expansion, you got new maps, right?
New maps, every expansion, and the maps that are still in Destiny 1 that haven't been ported to Destiny 2, it's a goldmine of maps.
Absolutely.
It's just waiting to come over. And I know it's rehashed content, but it would keep the game mode fresh in Destiny 2 to see those maps come back or change slightly, as they did with some of them coming from Destiny 1. Well, it looks like this one in Destiny 1, but it looks like this in Destiny 2, and they slightly altered it, maybe because of different
but think
reasons,
about it.
But yeah.
You're going to play this map that you played in Destiny 1 at 30 frames, and now you're going to play it on 4K or 1080p or 1440 at 60 frames or 120 or 240. My God, that's a gold mine. And I hope Sony listens, because if they're talking about rebranding, they've talked about how they're going to rebrand Destiny and improve the new player experience. Crucible makes all sense in the world. If you want to get new players into this game, you got to show them the fun that is Crucible. And I'm probably biased here, but the gun feel, the gun handling, the movement around the maps and everything in Destiny 2 Crucible is fantastic. And this is coming from an old, decades long Call of Duty player who played multiplayer every night with all of his buds. Consistently until Destiny arrived. This would make perfect sense, man, how to get people into this game. And then, because of the fact that the Bungie magic, the Destiny magic, is that you can grab any gun playing anything in this game and jump right into Crucible and try it out, or look for that perfect roll, right? Or you can craft a gun, or now you can enhance guns. They're moving in the right direction here, but the fact that we still have such few maps to play in Crucible, the sandbox, I think, is one of the most balanced right now, other than a few Hunter issues out there, which I heard they're nerfing that. Sorry, Respawn. But they're improving a lot of things. They're always tweaking stuff in the Crucible to make it fair for however way you decide you want to play. Just makes sense to me. So I was writing a few things down of the reason why I've invested so much time in Destiny. You got to have challenging missions that reward loot that's comparable to how challenging the mission is. Feelings of the game that it'll be around a while, as a lot of live service games today come and go and just aren't supported. I like an investable game with economies and, more importantly, progression. I want to be able to show myself off in game. I want to show other players that I've been around a while and have something outwardly that they can see that shows that I'm a veteran of this game. And they did that with Guardian ranks. They made a step there, right? But these one player games like, Black Myth Wukong, would you play 30 or 40 hours of it and it's over? It's complete. So but that's how it used to be. You used to buy your cartridge, yes. You played the game, and that was it. It was over and done with. Right.
There was none of this PvP kind of stuff until kind of the online gaming kind of took off.
Right.
And when I got the original Gears of War, we found loads of people that we played online. We'd constantly be matched up against them. And then it got to the point we invited them to be friends. And some nights we had like 25 of us on, and we would all be fighting to get into the two, because originally Gears was like 4v4. So we'd all be kind of in chats waiting for our kind of turn to get in on the teams and play against each other. Right. And we would be up all night just playing constant PvP. We loved the game. The game was amazing. And they would add more and more PvP maps to the game. They gave I remember the game had been out kind of a good 6 to 12 months, and they just gave 4 free maps because the game was just so popular. And they would do that for each kind of iteration of Gears that came out. You would get a good map pack of kind of the PvP maps, and then they would add more to it, free for you to kind of just log on, download, and just play. And you could just play against your friends, or you could play competitive. It just made so much sense, and it got people into the game and enjoying the game. And, it was a bit like Halo. Mm-hmm. You've got your selection of about 4 or 5 weapons. You've got power weapons on the playing field. You could run and get those and just go to town. And
you had ranked games. You had ranks. You worked yourself up in rank.
Destiny had it there.
Yeah.
And they had we've seen it slowly kind of come back with the 8v8 Sparrows that we've kind of got.
Right.
Big team battles in Destiny 1. Why has that never come back? Why has Sparrow racing never come back. It's like these things that you had in Destiny 1 that, yeah, I mean, people kind of say now, like, oh, you know, Sparrow Racing wasn't that good, but it was fun to do something different in Destiny.
Right.
It was just something different. You know, Trials was around to kind of carry people through various different rough spots in Destiny 1.
Right.
And now it's kind of this thing it's there. It's still kind of meant to be this competitive point for players to play, but it's been watered down so much in kind of, oh, we'll give you the rewards. If you just play the game mode, we just throw the rewards at you.
It's much easier to
And that wasn't what Trials was about back in the day, you know, and
I completed a Passage of Persistence solo last week, and I got my, I got my Adept weapon, my Adept submachine gun last week. And I gotta tell you, man, I didn't spend all weekend playing, because who the hell has the whole weekend to play a PvP game? Unless you're 13 years old and you don't have any responsibilities in life, it's kind of hard to do that. Or you're a streamer and you're making thousands of dollars every week. That's different. I'm a guy who has a job already, and I want to just be able to jump in and get some loot for playing. I want time, for my time invested. I want to be able to get some return on my time and some fun out of it. I disagree there. I think that the fact that they've made more versions of Trial, more different ways you can approach the game. I love what they're doing now with Trials, because it's more inclusive and it's still competitive. It's, Nitedemon, it's still competitive as hell, man. You're still going to go up against sweaty teams.
No, I'm not saying that it's not competitive, but they've altered what brought people to Trials each week to kind of go up against other players. They've had to water it down because of the player base kind of slowly of dropping off.
But here's the thing. It's still card-based matchmaking. If you're on 5 wins or 6 wins, you're going to go up against another team.
No. We played a couple of weeks back. Us three, we went after the show. We went and played. We played the same team twice. They beat the hell out of us twice. They must have been on a higher point, because we had only ever won. I don't think we've even won one game at that point.
Right.
We were kind of just on this losing streak, and they came in, slapped us around, and then we loaded back in, and they slapped us around again. It's not card based. You can't tell it, because they're definitely a step ahead of us.
I've been playing on PS5. Yeah, I've been playing on PS5, and I know PC, the lobbies are smaller. I mean, the player base is smaller on Steam, so it could be the case that there's just not enough players to spread it out as often. But we were going to say something, Peroty?
Oh, I mean, I agree. I remember looking, I didn't look at those groups, but I've looked at the past one we've gone in, and just the people you're matching us up against are, I've been flawless 26 times. I've been flawless 190 times. Yeah. And we're going, why are we seeing you? This is our first game on a no-win card, on no win, no loss, but like, we've stepped foot into this, and you're just putting us up against, the best of the best, going, you can tell me what the matchmaking is, and maybe the population is just so low that that's what I'm getting thrown at me, but this is not a thing. The other thing I wanted to say is, just about their, like what you guys were saying, you need to invest in the game and PvP and the sustainability of that. PvPVE is a, gateway drug into
That's
PvP,
true.
Potentially getting people in the door.
Are you saying that Gambit's going to save Destiny 2? Are you really saying that?
I'm saying Gambit is just another thing on the long line of game modes and things that Destiny has said, we're going to do this, and then we're going to throw it on the floor and just forget it exists.
That I agree.
Instead of making the investment there, we tend to talk about Halo a lot because there were all those big team battle or the action sack playlist, which is just, silly games. The amount of, Respawn screams every week, just give us the ability to make maps and let us play our own things. You could load up Halo and it was a full world of things, and you could go say, I want to go do hard things. I want to go do silly things. I want to sit around and drink with my buddies and just do, load up stupid multiplayer maps that who knows what we're going to be doing next. Like, instead of growing the world of Destiny, we've just shrunk the world of Destiny. So it's like, you have PvE or PvP. We put up a lot of investment into one, largely forgotten about the other. Now we're kind of starting to bring it back. But even just getting back to a point where you put everything in the game you've put into the vault would be a good starting point to get us back to a more robust game.
Sure.
Like Peroty said, every week, just let us build our own maps,
Forge.
I don't like the space magic PvP in this game, which is why I'm a PvE player predominantly, but I would play more often if I got to build my own maps or check out other people's maps and whatnot. Even if I was losing, if it was fun, I'd do it.
Yeah, here's the thing is, you guys played in a full fire team, and there's a reason why in the persistence card that it gives you, you don't lose wins. In other words, you have to just figure out how to get 7 wins and you get to the end of the card. Playing right now, because it is team-based matchmaking, it is much harder. It is much harder for full fire teams not to go up against other sweaty fire teams, because let's face it, most players who jump in a fire team every weekend to play trials have been doing that for years. They know how each other plays. They played together for years, or they're part of that pool of elite players that just like to just pounce on people and get a kick out of it. But I tell you what, if you play it solo, it is a totally different game. And I have to admit, one of my goals this season or this episode or post Final Shape was I wanted to play more trials, because I've always been a little too intimidated by it, because you would just get stomped and stomped and stomped. But the fact that they have solo queue now, I think has made it so much more enjoyable. And like I said, it took me about, I want to say, a couple hours of playtime to get to the end of my persistence card. And I don't know where you guys are finding these 36 times flawless people. I went to Trials Report, and I had total potatoes I was playing with. I don't know where these players were when they joined my team. I did have players that knew what they were doing. You could communicate with them, without having to use a mic, and you guys would work together because you played enough 3v3s. But I really think that Trials has, other than the player base has fallen off because it is at the end of its life cycle, I really have enjoyed playing solo Trials. But yeah,
come play PC Trials with us. It's not
no. I'm not going to play a PC lobby with a controller. I'm not going to do it. No, I know for a fact that I'm going to get 360 shotgunned with someone who's playing on a mouse versus my sticks in the mud. Not going to happen. I don't care if I put they tried to fix that by making your sensitivity on your controller like as much.
The best player in the world, Grenader Jake, he's a controller player.
Yep. But how many flawlesses does he have? And how long has he been playing this game? By the way, I watch him.
Flawlesses in the entire game, actually.
He does. I watch him. That's all he plays every weekend for a decade. So if I played for a decade straight and I had, Fancy to play with me every weekend to help me out, because he always brings on a killer. And then he carries someone, from a raffle or whatever. And it's not always a carry. Sometimes it's another good player, just whoever wins the raffle. But I very much enjoy watching Grenader Jake, and he's even said publicly that, I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little burnout playing Trials. And
I saw that on next.
He's been playing for a decade. I mean, anybody would be burnt out at that point. But the reason I only play Destiny is I want something that I can invest my time in and know that it's going to be around for a while. And I've played video games ever since 8-bit Atari. I really want cutting edge graphics. I want the game to feel good, especially shooter games. And Destiny has just never disappointed me. I mean, yes, you're going to get some, it is a peer-to-peer game still. Somehow it's modified where they still go in through the Destiny servers, but it's still peer-to-peer, and you're going to have some networking issues from time to time, depending on what time you play during the day. But for the most part, it just feels so much fun and comfortable playing a shooter game like Destiny, because it is cutting edge. It is the best graphics. I can play this at 200 frames a minute if I want. And it's just something, and I think the reason Destiny has prevailed for so long, and also why I can't stick to other games that aren't Destiny, is that feel. And the fact that Destiny is still fully supported. It's a two-way communication between the developers and the studio and its players. And that's been evident by the fact that Bungie has adapted their game. They're trying new hardware modes in Crucible, things that I've mentioned on my show. Let's have a gun game. Let's have it where we're only using guns and no abilities. For people for people who want to try out the guns, and not have to worry about getting Nova bombed. Things like that. And they've done it. And I've played it. It's been a lot of fun. Some people, it's not their thing. For me, coming from Battlefield and Call of Duty, I love it. It's a lot of fun. But Concord tried the Destiny method. They tried to gatekeep with these time-gated cutscenes every week, but it's a PvP game. And if it's not a PvE game like the Destiny world is, I don't really think that works. I mean, they're trying to do something totally different. They're trying to have character development and story development in a PvP game that people jump in and out of, and it just doesn't mix. And I think that's why they really they missed the mark there. But, I consider it like an Overwatch game, and I played Overwatch for several, probably almost a year, and it was fun, but it just wasn't that serious shooter like Battlefield. It wasn't realistic. It was more cartoony, and that's kind of the feeling I got from Concord as well. But, I don't know. I just got to thinking about it today, or this week, in fact, when I was putting this topic together, and like you said, Nitedemon, I love the fact that every week Bungie is throwing something out there to play, because I'm sure you were with me in 2016 at the end of Rise of Iron, where there was radio silence from Bungie and they were working on the next game and nothing was happening. There was nothing going on. We had to play for an entire year without any new content. And I don't know if they can do that again. I think they need to put some kind of episodic or the seasonal events that they have, which I play all of them. They're a lot of fun. It's a good way to, farm Bright Dust. It's a good way to get some of the seasonal weapons, which some of them are really good. Some of them are really crap. But I just think that Bungie needs to keep putting out something to do every week, whether it's Trials of Osiris or competitive or a new story in the episode. So, anything else you guys want to add there?
No.
Okay. Now, the one thing I did want to mention too is, being that I'm a more mature gamer, and I'm only 9% of the gaming player base out there. I'm definitely in the minority here, but I think storytelling in games needs to be more mature. And I'm not talking mature like bloody and very graphical, but more stories like there are in movies, better plot scenes, not knowing really how it's all going to end at the end. I must admit that most of the stories in Destiny 2 were pretty innocent and very predictable. I mean, there's exceptions like the Witch Queen. That ending just blew me away. That Witch Queen expansion. Stuff like that really was fantastic content. But I'm really hoping that the Witness story could have gone a little more unpredictable. Like, we kill the Witness. Yay. Game over. I was really, in previous shows leading up to Final Shape, I was really hoping that, what if the Witness wins? What if we don't get we don't reach the threshold to make sure she does die? And then it goes another way. It's like an alternate story or something. I thought that would have been I'm sure it's a lot of development time there, but I just am curious. Do you guys think that the stories in Destiny 2 and games in general are very predictable and very cookie cutter, or am I wrong there?
Well, I'm going to say that I think the storyline in Destiny 2 is one of the best things about the game, lore-wise. I don't think they take enough advantage of it in-game. They give you most of the lore, like on weapons and vehicles and things like that. But if they incorporated more of their actual lore into the storyline, that would be amazing. They have it. They just need to use it, And there's not been a whole lot of predictabilities in this game, right? Like Cade dying. Who saw that coming, right?
Yeah.
The Witch Queen being resurrected. Spoilers, by the way. Who saw that coming, right?
That was awesome.
Not a lot of the game, I would say, has been predictable since I've played it,
Okay.
But yeah, I do think the storyline's really, really strong in this game, and they should lean heavily into that in the future, And like I've said in our show many times, you've got all kinds of stuff you could always go back to for more content. You could play as Shen Malfur or as, what was her name? The lady, Iron Lord that sacrificed herself to save everybody else from the Siva.
Aphrodite. No, not Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
No, it wasn't Aphrodite. It's somebody else. It's one of the Iron Lords.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have so much to work from, and you could totally dive into that and have entire sequences that you could, build from. There's all kinds of storylines where people are just like, well, what happened? what happened? You know, in the beginning, whenever we first got Cade's stash, even Cade was convinced that Ace wasn't real. Ace was somebody he made up to keep himself going, to keep himself,
right,
air quotes, honest, right? And then we come to find out later that Ace may have actually been a real son that he's got, you know? So you've got it there, Bungie. Just dig into it.
That's the
and
problem, though, Respawn, is that's all in the lore. It's not in the game.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like bring it into the game. Let us play.
Absolutely.
Let us be the bystander when this happened, you know?
It's very deep.
Well, let me see when Cade does decide to become an EXO and why, you know? Let us be like a friend of his or something, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I definitely, if they included more lore, and this is why I think Sony should act and come out with some kind of series like Last of Us, where they can explain and lay out the game better, and that would attract so many other people to the Destiny game as well. So, do you guys have any goals going forward in the next 6 to 8 months here before Frontiers comes? Because I think everyone's just kind of waiting to see. They're waiting for Bungie to speak up and say, here's what Frontiers is going to be. And I've speculated, like I always do, about what I think Frontiers should be. I think it should be like a total open world where they can add stuff to it every week or add stuff to it every quarter or every month, like a new boss or a new area that opens up on this open world, like crashing on a planet. I don't know if you've listened to my past episodes, but I was thinking, you know, we leave the solar system and we crash on this planet, and it's a totally hidden planet. We have to discover it, and everything's cloudy, just like a lot of Discovery games out there, until you go in those areas and unlock them. I'm just curious, if that sounds feasible to you, as far as, I guess everyone's been speculating about what Frontiers is going to be. And I guess we're trying to wait to hear what Bungie's going to say about it. And I know their 10-year anniversary is coming up soon. I don't know if they're going to do anything for that as well, but, just curious.
Yeah, there's a few spoilers for that. I don't think you can get into, but
okay, I'll leave it alone.
There's a 10-year thing.
If everybody hadn't been fired by then yeah.
But that's like what I was saying earlier. Is like they've planned things out every single week for people to do. So once the Act 3 episode story finishes, I think that's when the 10th anniversary stuff will come out, and they'll probably tell us in the next couple of weeks about what that is. Although you can go and look it up. There's leaks.
Sure. And I'll refrain from putting that in the show, because I'm sure there's people who don't want to be spoiled on it. But, yeah, I was just curious because, I mean, I still need to complete the Salvation's Edge raid. I mean, don't at me. I have a lot of stuff I need to do for my Hunter and Titan that I've neglected. I have remaining fragments of my Prismatic subclass I need to get, because it's a little more difficult this time around to get all that unlocked. I'm definitely playing more Trials of Osiris. I'm playing more competitive every week. Obviously the episodes, that's there. I'm definitely going to complete all those to the most extent. I'm going to try to do more streaming game nights. I'm creating more videos on my channel, and I'm looking forward to the seasonal events, like the Halloween events and the Dawning coming up. All of that stuff I've always, enjoyed as well. So did you guys have any things that you're wanting to do going into before we get to Frontiers? Did you guys have any goals or something on your to-do list that you're wanting to do in the game?
See the lighthouse? ?
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, I think just play the story that we've got, play it out to the end, and then enjoy the content that Bungie will provide over the next couple of months, with leading us into the next episode, and then follow that and just keep playing and enjoying what they're giving us, and pull my hair out, because every season there's more guns, there's more armor, there's more stuff that just has to squeeze into that tiny, tiny vault.
Yes. Mine's overflowing already.
Yeah.
Is it 700 or 600 now? I can't remember. 700. And it's almost full again. Yeah.
Almost.
Well, like I said in last week's show, if it wasn't for Crucible and trying different roles on guns, then I would probably not have a full vault. And if they just let everything be craftable or enhanceable, then you could eliminate a lot of stuff from your vault if they just had it that way. But I won't go down that road this week. I've already had that conversation. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys stopping by today. This was awesome. Hey Guardians, would you like to send a question for the show to us? There are 4 ways to do it. First, you can join our Discord server at discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. There's also a join link in our show notes down below. We have Guardians from all walks of life and all over the world, from new lights to day one players to hardcore gamers. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show. So come hang out with us. You can also email us with your question at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also occasionally post about our upcoming show and guest, and you can respond there with your question at Guardian_D_cast is our X handle. Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your question at guardiandowncast.com, and we might play it on the podcast. Think of it as talking with us right on the show. Thanks for listening, and later, Guardian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of our show where we get feedback from you guys. And if you do want to leave us some feedback, you can either go to our podcast questions channels. There's Destiny and non-Destiny questions. You can ask your question or give your feedback in there, or you can go to Guardian Downcast show feedback channel as well. And also, the ones I really love are your voicemails. And you can go to guardiandowncast.com. Just click the send voicemail button. You can't miss it. It follows you everywhere on the site. Or you can go to speakpipe.com/Guardian Downcast and just hit record, state your piece, and then hit stop. Give me your gamer tag and hit send. It goes right to me. It's that simple. Anyway, I wanted to start off with a question from my buddy, Miner. Let's see what he has to say.
Dudes, this is Miner. I know I haven't left one of these in a while, but I'm still around. Just had a busy summer. First, Gator, congrats on becoming a grandpa, dude. That's awesome. Welcome to the club. And, I hope you guys have been well. So I actually have 2 questions. The first one is, as far as Destiny goes, if you're still playing, what is your current favorite weapon? Mine's been Graviton Lance. I have a build with my Warlock and Graviton, with, Mantle of Battle Harmony, and I pretty much get my super, as long as I'm using Nova Bomb, I can get my super back every probably minute and a half. And it's pretty nuts. Second question, do you have more crafted weapons than I do? I'm known pretty much around my circle of friends as the crafted weapon king. I currently have 153 crafted weapons. How many do you have? Love the show. Later, guys.
Thanks, Miner. Appreciate the feedback, buddy, and the questions for the show. First of all, your first question is, what's my favorite weapon in the game? I'd have to say it is my Red Death Reformed. I have the catalyst for it, so even whether I'm playing trials or we're a PvE activity, like a Nightfall or something, whenever I get a kill, the charges build up in the weapon. I actually can leave a cure, like a cure bubble, like for anyone around me. It's really cool, especially in Trials of Osiris. It's a lot of fun. And it's really holding its own in Crucible as well. So yeah, the Red Death Reformed is my favorite rifle right now. And of course, it's a pulse rifle. I got so many kills with this rifle in Destiny 1. I'm so happy they brought it back for Final Shape. So yeah, to answer your question, that is my favorite. As far as, crafted weapons, man, I guess I need to step up my game. I looked it up on Dim. I have 68 crafted weapons. And, yeah, yours is definitely bigger, man. I'll give you that. I love crafting weapons, and I guess I got a ways to go here. So good job, man. That is fantastic. And the more crafted weapons you have, the less you have to worry about holding in your vault, right? So yeah. Thanks, buddy. And thanks for the congratulations. It's so awesome being a grandpa. I see pictures of Elliot every day, and my God, he's changing so fast. And I think he's 7 weeks old now. So, man, it flies by. Thank you, Miner. We got a question in the Discord here from MC Maximo, one of our patrons. He says, what movie quote do you find yourself using the most in everyday life? Funny you should say that, MC Maximo. or McMaximo, sorry, is my wife and I both love the Matrix movie, and well, I'll just play the clip. Mr. Anderson, do you hear that?
That's the sound of inevitability.
Best part of the Matrix movie, yeah, it's the sound of inevitability. That that goes for everyone in life, right? Some things are inevitable, whether you like it or not. So thanks for sending your question in. Appreciate that, McMaximo. We have our space lawyer Lazz stop by this week, and let's see what he's up to this week.
Well. It's me, your friendly neighborhood space lawyer. You haven't heard from me in a while because I take what's called summer vacation, which even in space, they have seasons, believe it or not. How long of a vacation do I get? Well, first of all, it's none of your business. None your business. Second of all, I can take as much vacation as I want because I work for myself. And you might say, don't you work for the podcast? That's really funny. Work for the podcast, yeah.
I swear the check's
no.
in the mail.
First of all, they pay me, so technically speaking, they work for me. You may say that doesn't make any business sense, but none of you have business degrees, do you? And if you do, that's fine. Come talk to me about it. Put it next to my space lawyering degree. We'll see how it measures up. So while I was away on vacation, I did get several messages. I also appeared on Dudes Playing Stuff because that's what I do as a space lawyer. Is I show up on people's podcasts and I just talk with people. The people tend to like it. It's pretty good. So there is going to be an ongoing lawsuit between Dudes Playing Stuff and the Blueberry Lounge, which is unfortunate because it's really not the entire Blueberry Lounge. It's just Native Raider again. I don't know, why does this guy commit so many crimes? It's beyond all reason. Not to mention the fact Dudes Playing Stuff is part of the Space Mafia, so why are you honestly constantly challenging the Mafia? Okay? I mean, it's just not a smart move. But it is what it is, and I'm going to represent it. I'm pretty certain that there's a certain Southern lawyer that might represent Native Raider, but who knows, because our schedules are all so busy. But in other news, all of y'all are probably taking more vacations yourself because those lovely school years are starting, if they haven't already. And to be honest with you, I'm sure you're frustrated by all the stuff you're supposed to do, like buy them supplies and crap. I can't help you with that, unfortunately. I don't deal with school systems. They are notoriously hoity-toity. And I have it in my clause that I don't deal with hoity-toity. And if you yourself are hoity-toity, Agnes Edna will sniff you out, and we will add you to the black book, and you will never be dealt with again. Because hoity-toity just ain't our style. So, for now, I'm going to start drafting up some more paperwork for the Dudes Playing Stuff versus Native Raider / Blueberry Lounge, and I'll update you as I can. Until then, try to stay out of trouble and stay alive, please.
Thanks, Lazz. He was also on the Get On In Here podcast by my buddy Elmer Fudd Games. That was a great interview he had, so check that out as well. Yeah, good to see you've got some rest in, Lazz. Hopefully we can get back to work, man. I got a lot of lawyering to do in the space realm. So thank you, buddy. And then finally, Uncle Scumdeth stopped by as well this week. So we got a 2-for-1 this week. So I'll see what Uncle Scumdeth is up to. So Uncle Scumdeth, what is going on in the UK today, brother?
Hello, welcome to Scumdeth's Corner. As I'm recording this on Friday morning, I believe young Hades has gone in for a job interview. So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish him the best of luck. He did say, I think it's with the same company, but he's going for a management position. So yeah, best of luck, mate. And, let us know as soon as you find out. So fingers crossed for you, boy. And as it happens, my missus has just left the house and she's off for a job interview as well. She's a carer and works with disabled adults in a care home, but her job is so manic, so much to do. She's like a supervisor, and sometimes she comes home and she's just had enough there. So it can get to you in the end, can it, sometimes? So she's gone for a job interview, which would be 2-on-1, like one disabled adult with 2 carers permanently. Tiny bit less money, and less hours. But if she does a sleep once a week, then you get like 70 quid for the sleep. So that's not too bad. Get your head down and wake up with 70 quid in your pocket. I could do with some of that. But, so 2 job interviews going right now. So best of luck to both of them. I'll say best of luck to my missus, but I know she definitely won't listen to this. But, and she'd probably kill me if, she knew I was, recording this to the world. But, so best of luck to everybody. And, I can't wait to find out, how everyone gets on. So, yes, I'm off to the, pet shop. I think my cockapoo's got mites. She's starting to itch on her back end and, starting to look a little bit thin. So I'm going to run off now to the pet shop, try and get some, sort of shampoo type stuff. But the dog's got vets on Tuesday. We can't get her in any quicker. So I'm going to try some anti-mite shampoo. Yes. Anyway, enough of my ramblings. Good luck to everybody. And, I love you all. And I shall, speak to you later. Love you all. Goodbye.
Thank you, Uncle Scumdeth. And, best of luck, Hades. He's one of our mods in our Discord. Good luck, buddy. Hope you get that management spot. That'd be awesome, man. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. All right. So again, if you want to leave a voicemail or a question for the show, it's discord.gg/GuardianDownCast. Or if you want to send us a voicemail, GuardianDownCast.com, and just hit that send voicemail to us. It's very simple. Just make sure you have your phone mic on. It steps you through it. It's so easy to do. So yeah, don't sit on the fence. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think of the show or segments of the show or a certain topic in the show. And, give me some feedback. I appreciate it.
Yo, what up? Native Raider here, and you're listening to Guardian Downcast. Let's get it.
Just some announcements before we go here. I'm doing my first commentary with my buddy Elmer Fudd Games. We're going to be doing his next version of the Destiny 2 raid race. And I just want to give you some heads up here of when this is all happening. It is going to be September 6th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. UK time. And we're going to be doing 3 raids, The Last Wish, King's Fall, and Crota's End. And we have some teams that have signed up. And for the first time, Elmer Fudd Games invited me to co-host with him on that and do some commentary. And hopefully I don't fall flat on my butt trying to do it. I'm looking forward to doing it, though. Anytime I can do anything with Elmer Fudd Games, it's a lot of fun. If you want to follow along and watch the raid race in real time, go to Elmer Fudd Games on Twitch. It's M and D. I won't do it like you do, Fudd. So yeah, check that out. Make sure you sub to him and hit that notification bell or whatever they do on Twitch over there. And September 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. on UK time. You'll be able to follow along and see what's going on with the raid race. Should be a lot of fun. And it's just for bragging rights, but it's anything he does is always a good time. Want to give a shout out to all the patrons of our show, those who give back to the show and support a listener supported podcast like this one. Shout out to our Dungeon Champion patrons. That would be Technical, Raffi, Wicked Trinity, Sith Daddy Fresh, and Deadpool 1 Merc. Thank you, gentlemen. A thank you to our Raid Boss patrons. This is our highest tier of our Patreon community. That is Jealous, Frostbite, Amazing, Taco King, and Nico, aka Jersey, for giving back to the show. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you as well. And thanks to all our patrons. Couldn't do it without you guys. I wanted to thank the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast for stopping by today. That is Respawn, or No One Respawns in Real Life, Nitedemon, and Peroty. I'll put their contact information for their podcast in the show notes down below if you want to follow along and subscribe and listen to their podcast as well. Really great guys. And like I said, I think it was one of my first podcasts where I was a guest on. And it's really crazy. I was listening to these guys, love what they do, and then they invited me on their podcast. It was amazing. So thank you again to those 3 for indulging me with being our guest co-host on the show this week. You can find me, Todd the Gator. That's 2 Ds and GATR on Twitter, X, Steam, PS5, and my YouTube channel as well. I have a Crucible video series coming out probably in the next few weeks here. I'm almost done with my initial set of videos that I want to set out. I'm just working on my 4th one today after this show. So, it basically is, I'm just kind of tired of all my buddies that play PvE that don't play Crucible. And as we talked about earlier in the show, Crucible really is the coolest thing about, multiplayer. If you look at all the live stream games today, that's what everybody's doing is and watching are these multiplayer games that I mentioned on Twitch, and Destiny 2 is no different. So, my goal is to inspire people to jump in and at least give it a try. And I'll give you some tips and tricks step by step that may help you progress farther and faster in Crucible than I did, which took 9 years. So, remember, as you're playing the final shape or episode echoes, take breaks and get outside and touch grass. Kingsley Mac. Hey, remember everyone, we're Guardian Downcast, your stories, your community, your destiny. And be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destinyverse.
The weight of the world was on your shoulders, and still you triumphed. Marvelous.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian. Respawn calling in. Oh, are we going to get a direct call?
Hi, Respawn.
Hi, are we not doing a show today?
You're not here today, you told us.
I never said that at all.
Go back and check the show.
We literally have it on tape.
No, I never said, I said I wouldn't be at home.
No, you wouldn't be on the show this week. That's what you told us.
I never would say that. There was nothing planned for me to not be on the show this week. That makes no sense.
Well, we know it makes no sense.
Even if that was the case, where are you two? Why aren't you two doing the show?
We've done some show.
Because we made
So the show's already done? Everything's been done? You just excluded me? That's fine.
Well, no, you said you weren't going to be here.
I didn't say that. You're saying that. I have no idea where you got that from, but that's fine.
You
don't want me on the show. You just say it. You don't have to go behind my back. You just be like, yo, Respawn. We don't like you. We don't want you. I'll be like, all right.
Direct.
I'll just invite him in.
The end of the episode last.
Hang on a second. I've got another call. Hang on.
I literally had another call. I thought he was
kidding.
Conference Respawn in with us or something.
You put Respawn on hold. That is a bold move, man.
And then they suddenly call him, Cade, you're going to come and finish doing this fight.
Hold up one sec. I muted myself. I have to go back. I have to ask that again.
We don't go back.
I got to.